So we are going to install a new React project. So please, even though you don't have your PC, what I would like you to do is just take note of the steps. Just to take note of the steps, please. So what I would like to do is to close this VS Code I was using. I think I've closed that. Yes. So the next I would like to do now is to open my Git bash here. So I'll open my Git bash here. So each time you want to create a new React project, this is what you have to do. So I'll open my Git bash here, then I'll make it full screen, then I'll increase the font size. I hope it's not working now because I installed it differently. Okay, so I believe you can see my screen. So the first step now is you have to install npm install vite -g in case you have not installed vite before. So if you hit enter, if you have already installed it, it's going to install vite all over again. So you're just going to update it. Now the -g here means that it is global, and because it is global now, if I want to check the version of vite that I've installed, I'll type vite space -- version, and that will show me that. So this is the very first step, but after you've installed vite with React, you don't have to repeat this first step, but even though you repeat it, there is no harm. Okay, so let's wait for it to install. Now it has finished installing, so now I can use the keyword vite. So the next step now is to create the React project. So please pay attention to the step and take notes. You can just have a written note on a piece of paper or on your phone, so that with this step, by the time you are applying it, if you're unable to follow me as I'm doing it now, so that you don't make mistake or have issues. Of course, you have the video too to also help you. Okay, so the next step now is npm. Now if you have not installed this vite before, you also need to install Node.js. So that one is very easy to install. So in case you've forgotten, if you go to the web and type Node.js download, so it's going to take you to this website. If you go to the first one, then you choose the pre-built installer and choose the one for your operating system, and by default you to select your operating system. So as I'm using Windows now, it's going to select Windows, so it's going to show here. Yes, I see it now, so it has shown Windows. So after you install it, then you can use npm. So npm means Node Package Manager. Now to be sure that Node has been installed, type node -- version. So if it shows you the version of Node which you downloaded, then you're good to use npm. So I've installed Node. So now I can run the next step, which is what? npm create vite. Then where is this my at latest space the name of the folder where you want it to save your React project. So I'll use my I just put React class 9, something like that. So anything I want to put. Then the next one is to choose the template you want to install. Instead of it to bring out those templates for you, and you have to use your up and down arrow key to choose. So you type this just as I typed it. So you are going to type --space --template space React. So hoping that there is no typo error, you hit what? Enter. So if there's no typo error, it's going to bring out 3 instructions for us to follow, and let's wait for that. Now this will not take much time because I don't think it has to do with internet. So in a few seconds we'll see it. So you see the 3 instructions that shows there. The first one is what? cd to React minus class 9. That is the name of the folder I said you should install my React. Then the next step is what? npm install, which means I will install all the dependencies that React needs to run. Then the next step is npm run dev, which means use to start my React. So let's start to implement the first instruction. cd means to change directory. So remember, if you're using your System Explorer, if you want to open a folder, is either you double tap it or you right click and choose open. But when you're using a terminal like this, you write codes for that, and the code for that is what? cd and the folder name. So space React minus class 9. So if I hit enter, you notice that the path has changed from just ending with week 9 to React minus class 9, which means I've entered the folder. So now I can do what? Install. So if you miss this process and you type npm install, it then means that you're installing React in a place where you don't have your package .json file. Now to show you what has happened, you notice that I have my React class 9 here. Now as I've cd into it, it's like I've double tapped it and I have all this. Now if you notice, I have my package.json, and this package.json holds a list of all the dependencies or all the ingredients that React needs to install to work properly. So if you do your npm install after this folder, that means you have some errors. You did not install it in the right place. So I'm going to now type npm install. So this is going to take about 2 to 3 minutes, so we just have to be patient depending on the internet speed. So please be sure you are taking notes, and if you have any question, please feel free to raise your hand up so I will clear the confusion before we start. Because if I say you should ask later, you might forget it, and I might have moved so far enough to visually help you to understand the question. So if you have any question, please feel free to raise your hand up. But if the question has to do with something that I have not done, then please just be patient, and I'm going to reach that point. So, and installing React is more easier and faster with Vite. Now, as I was marking your assignment, I noticed that some of you use the normal create React app. So I just have to convert it to Vite because that is very slow. It's very slow. So please learn to use Vite. Vite is it makes React development very fast. So don't mind all this one. It's just part of the download process. So within a short while, React will be installed. Oh, I can change the font size here, so let me change that. Fonts. Let me use 24, 28. Okay. I think this is better. So within a short while, it's going to install. So I would have skipped this part because I know it will take time, but it's just to show that this is the process. So if it shows you anything like an error, like inot error, then you know that it didn't install it correctly, and Vite will just delete the folder for you. So if there's an error, if I go back here now, I'll likely not see this folder again. So it's going to delete it, so that when you are trying it again, it's going to start on a fresh basis that is error free. So this is another reason why some developers like to use Yarn to install their packages, because Yarn installs the packages in a more faster format. But only that I'm just used to this to using npm. But if it was Yarn, I think it would have finished installing. But it's okay. In less than 2 minutes, it will finish the installation process. Why is it delaying? It's taking more than the usual time. Okay, what I'll do is that I will try another one using my command prompt. So cmd, just to see the one that will install first. So I'll try another one using my command prompt. So I'm going to type another one, which is npm create vite at latest space my class 9b space minus minus space minus minus template space React. So remember that we have already installed this Vite and our Node.js, so we can just go directly to this. So let's see the one that will install first. Okay, so finally this one has completed. So that means if I come inside my folder here now, I'm going to see this node modules. Now because I have these node modules, that means I can start my React project. So let me close this guy, and this guy. So now according to the command or the instruction that was given to us before, if I scroll up, it says cd to your this React class now, which you have done, the npm install. So the next one now is npm run what dev, but I want this to open on my VS Code. I don't want to start my server here, so I'm going to type a shortcut to open my VS Code from my terminal. So I'm going to type code space dot. Now this is a code to open a VS Code folder from your terminal. So if I type this, it's going to open this new project that we just installed now in my VS Code, and I'm going to execute the next command, which is npm run dev. Okay, so I'll just put yes that I trust this device. Then after it's finished loading my VS Code, then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open my terminal here and type npm run dev. So please, if you want an explanation of the meaning of each of this folder, please go back and watch the first part of that React video. I think the second part of the React videos. So I'll just be applying it here, but I just want to show you how to install it without errors. So I hope you are taking notes, although it's being recorded, but it's good to take your own personal note. It helps the brain to be used to the steps. So let's wait for the terminal to get ready. The system is multitasking, so it's kind of slow. It's not yet ready. If it's ready, it's going to show the path to this folder, just like this one here. So it's going to show something like this. Okay, so it's ready now. So I'm going to run npm run dev npm run dev. So I'll hit enter. Now if you type this npm run dev before you finish, before you do your npm install, you're going to have errors. So again, this is why I love using Vite. My React project is going to start in less than a minute. A minute is even too long. So you see, in seconds, my React this is. Now, if you are having issues opening or viewing your React on your browser, you can just type this thing manually on your browser, or if you move your cursor here, I don't think you even have to hold control. If you move your cursor here and you move up, you see this word follow link, and if you tap on that link, it's going to open that link for you on your default browser. So that is what I've done now. But if you still hold your control, there is no error. Or another idea is you can be looking at the URL, since it's not that complex, you can type it manually and it will still work. Now if you press Ctrl C, which is to copy, in your terminal it means to cancel a process. So it's going to stop the process. So don't do Ctrl C, please. So you see, if you see this page like this, it then means your React is working. So if I click on this count, you see everything is working. So after this step, the next step now is to reset this React, and we'll start to inject our own components and files. So let's do that. So I'm going to close this terminal here, then I'll come to the source folder. Then next I'll go to the app.css. then I'm going to wipe out everything that is here. So unless you want to use some of them, you can leave them. So I'll just wipe everything. I'll use Ctrl A and backspace, then I'll save. So that's the first thing I'll wipe. Then the next thing I'll wipe is my index.css. So I'll do my Ctrl A. It's not there. I'll do my Ctrl A, then I'll put my asterisk, then I'll do my resetting, which you know from our CSS. So I'll do my margin. You can also do this in your app.css. Anyone will work. 0 pixel. Then box sizing, border box, then padding 0 pixel. Now if you take a look at our browser, you notice that it will look somehow weird. So you see, no more animations, but the count is still showing. Now as you already know from the videos you've watched, our app.jss is our window to the world. Now that reminds me, from your assignment, I noticed that for some of you, you are saving a component as .js. Now I explained from the video that in a React project, you can save a component as .js or .jsx. But when you're using Vite just enforces you to what? Use .jss. Maybe there's a fix to it, but I have not found it, since it's just a name. So if you don't want to have errors in your Vite, in your React Vite, always save each component or any expected JavaScript as what? JSX. Just save your JavaScript as what? JSX, and you don't have issue. So if I come to this my app.jsx or the app component, I have to clear everything. So I'll put my cursor here, then scroll up, then I'll hold my shift and tap here. Why is it lagging? So I'm going to backspace and it's going to clear that for me. So just to keep things clear, I'll have to put a div here. I have a class. No, it's not a class, an ID. An ID of app. Then I have to put the closing tag here, div. Then I'll just put a simple text here, just to text. I'll put home page. So if I save this now, I'm going to be seeing what? Home page on my browser. That is nice. So I'm seeing a hand there. So Mr. Ediana, you have a question?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening. You're welcome.
Everybody. Yeah, sir. So there's something that I used to observe, and I would really like your feedback on it. So when you instructed that we should be using Vite, so when I open create a new React application using Vite, I used to discover that anytime I want to work on props, like I want to pass props, they are going to tell me, based on you said we are using JSX instead of JS. Anytime I want to pass props, they'll be telling me to use TypeScript. They'll be like constraining me to give those props what's it called, type.
Okay.
It is unless I go and delete that that import React from React that is going to allow me to just do my normal thing and do pass my props without using TypeScript. So I don't know if you have noticed something like that, and tell us what to do about that.
Okay, that's a very nice question. I think I've not noticed that, but when I know that might be an issue, you can install React, but the JavaScript tab that I want to use is TypeScript. So if you installing it with this React TypeScript, then it will force you to be using TypeScript instead of the normal React. But if you didn't do that, then unless I see the issue, then that's when I will know how to solve it. But I'm going to demo.
When creating it, I not choose JavaScript though. Sorry, I not choose TypeScript.
Okay,
It was JavaScript that I
okay.
chose. Now, there is one file there that is always saying something ESLint. If I can't do that ESLint, everything will be okay.
Okay,
Once that
okay.
ESLint, yeah, it will be giving me that issue.
Okay, okay. I've not experienced that. I think it is file that is here. This
Exactly.
ESLint
Yes,
does
that
this.
file.
Yes, yes.
If you leave it there, it will give me that props issue.
Okay.
It will be telling me to use I should give my props type.
Okay, okay. Maybe there is a slight mistake you are making when using props. So just as I'll demonstrate now, just observe whether there is a mistake that you are making. But I don't think it is to give an issue. But just observe first.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Okay, I'm seeing the hand of Mr. I'm seeing the hand of Mr. Jacob, please.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
My problem is a bit similar to Mr. Diana's, but my own is not telling me to use TypeScript. My own is that whenever the process you use to install Byte everything, I used it, and so it's showing error in that import React from React. And one thing I observe is that whenever I'm importing a component, like another component, just like how we created car component, I have to type it myself. I can't use that shortcut.
Okay, okay, okay.
My own, like, I have to type it myself. And those other errors that I showed you when I was doing the part, told me that one I can leave it. No, but that one, that one. That's why I've been like. It was even yesterday that I actually observed that some of the things, if I'm following a video and I'm also doing it, I'll like seeing different things. When I have to go and check the import side, I say, but I use the shortcut, but it's not working.
It's not working. Yes. Okay. Thank you very, very much. Now, that shortcut is usually used to this work well if your browser, that is, if depending on your this system speed or the type of this multitasking that is doing. That's why sometimes if I'm making video, you see that the intro will not be showing. I have to manually type it. But the normal step is before you use a component that you import to a file, you must import it at the top before you use it. But if you can be using the shortcut, just I'm using, because why I'm using the shortcut, because it's a little bit faster than going to import first, then just come down. So
okay, so what about the import React? It's still showing error. I have to like comment it before sometimes it will be clear.
yes. No, that is for example, if you are installing, okay, by the time we create a new component now, from I think there is from this React version, I've forgotten React version. It is not compulsory that you must import React inside each of those components. I mean inside each of the component. So my system does not find out that, but if your system is finding out that, then it is not bad, because it's just like trying to just repeat things that is not necessary. So you can just comment it out. That one is not an error.
Okay, and also sorry sir for another question. And also this set count you state. So showing an error. Yeah, like should I be commenting them, or this you state is
no. That one will not be an error. If there is time, I'm going to do something that will involve a state soon.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm going to stop this I'm going to stop the video so that I'm going to start with now creating some components. So let me stop it so that